And we're back. We're back for another one. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Appreciate you guys clicking on the video here today. Captain Cody Davis here with you guys as always for another one. You guys are gonna have to bear with me. I am fighting. Me and my wife both are fighting / getting over a cold / cough / sinus infection. I have no idea what it is, but it just will not go away. So I'm all nasally and congested and nose running and coughing and all that good stuff. But all in all, I actually feel pretty good. This stuff just won't go away, but it's that time of year. But I just wanted to hop on here and I guess just give you guys really a Lake Okeechobee fishing report. It's been a little bit. There's a lot of things changing. I don't know when the last time I did one of these was, but this lake is legitimately changing every 3 days. We got a lot of stuff going on and a lot of good, not really a ton of bad, but just a lot of good and a lot of things that are looking good for the upcoming months here on the lake. So as of this morning, the lake is below 13 foot. I think it's like 1298. She is dropping like a stone. It's crazy how fast she's fallen, and I couldn't love it more. It's making getting around a little bit difficult. It's definitely taking a little bit more time. There is a fly in here driving me nuts. So, you gotta, I'm getting a lot of questions. I'm getting a lot of DMs. I'm getting a lot of, comments, people asking if it's okay to run, if this canal is okay to run. I've said it before, but Lake Okeechobee will hurt you, but it's more or less the damage you're going to do to your boat or yourself is when you are trying to get up on a plane and take off out of an area and or when you lay down in an area. A lot of guys just run the grass and they just, a lot of people forget when you come off of plane on a boat, your ass into your boat sinks down. And that is when your lower unit, your skeg, your prop gets driven into that limestone, that hard, flat rock on Okeechobee. And that's where you do your damage. Same thing when you go to jump up on plane. So right now, if you can, if at all possible, running the main lake is your best deal. And then shutting down out there. I mean, I'll actually, if it's windy, I'll actually run the back trails. And then when I get close to my destination, as you call it, I will run back out to the open water, lay the boat down, turn around, and then just either troll or idle up, kind of up into the grass. And that's saving myself a lot of money and damages. So definitely do that. Be very conscious of the wind right now. All right. Primarily, we are fishing either, the south or the north or the west side of the lake. Just know if you are on the north end of the lake on a Tuesday and the wind is out of the south, and then you go there the next day and the wind is blowing out of the north, it's going to be roughly about a foot shallower in that area because due to the north wind blowing the water out of these areas. Some people have been getting stuck. I had to get out and push my boat twice on my trip yesterday. And that was simply from fishing the wind adjacent side of the lake and the wind blowing the water out from under my boat. When you're dealing with a giant lake with lots of momentum, when you have water moving and you're fishing an area that's literally 14 inches of water and you're in a boat that drafts a foot of water, it does not take long or even that much wind to blow 2 inches out from under your boat. So just be careful, but don't complain. The lake needs this. This is what's going to bring back some life into the lake. It's going to bring back new areas. If you're too impatient to run the lake correctly, that's not her fault. All right. So a lot of people, I hear people moaning like, oh, there's no water in the back. There's plenty of water for the fish. And we'll kind of get into that, I guess. You cannot get shallow enough to catch these fish right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. There was a point, last week we were legitimately looked like we were fishing for redfish. Like you'd see them tailing back out of the water, and there's 5 to 7 pounders cruising around back there. These fish are up shallow, both to spawn, and then there's a lot of fish that, the way I explain it, the fish come in, they do their deal, and then like 80% of them go back out to the outside lake in preparation for summer, spring, warm weather, what have you. But 20% stay in the back or linger around the back and hopes that the bluegill come in, and those big rogue single fish kind of sit back there and feed on those brim. And those are the ones I like to catch. Now, 20% sounds like a small number, but with the amount of fish that we have in our lake, I mean, that's more than you could catch in a lifetime. So that's kind of what's going on. I think we've got some late spawners. Most of the big fish that we caught this past week on trips were all, I'd say, spawning or just got done spawning. And all of my fish have been coming from the back. Now, I know a lot of people are catching some fish on the outside edge. We're in that transition time right now. You know, you're going to have fish that are on the outside edge. You're going to see some some schooling, right? The water temp's warming up. So you can kind of catch fish all over the entire lake right now. The only area or end of the lake that's maybe a little bit unfishable would be the south end. There's just a big pocket of dirty water down there. The water hasn't got a chance to clean up. And that's kind of goes for, excuse me, the entire lake. The wind has not quit blowing. It's gusting to 30 out there right now. Thankfully, I'm not out there. But what makes that worse is the wind blows a different direction every 2 days. So it'll blow, 25 out of the west, 15 out of the east, 10 out of the north, 10 out of the south, and it's just not letting that water settle. Excuse me. I sound like hell, so I apologize if I'm sounding gross. And that's what's making it very difficult. So even if you get to an area where the outside grass line of the lake is fishable as far as being calm, it might have been blowing 30 in there yesterday and the wind switched directions overnight, and that the damage is already done. So that's what's kind of preventing the lake from just popping off. All right. I mean, where it's just going crazy. The other thing is these little fronts, I think, are keeping the bluegill from moving in. Typically, the first full moon in March is when we first see our first push of brim, and I haven't seen it. Now, maybe some people have, I haven't, and that's when things get rowdy. So it'll probably be next month, April timeframe, when they'll really start. They're going to come in. Hopefully, these fronts kind of go away. They're annoying. We got hit with another one today. It's cold outside, so we're getting into, sure enough, spring now. We're almost in April, which is insane to think about. I mean, crazy. But things are going to start changing. The lake is fishing big. Like I said, it really is. The weights are still good. We fished, we had the Jimmy McMillan Memorial Tournament, and the lake showed out as always it does in that event. It took almost 31 pounds to win. There were two 30-pound bags, a 29, several 28s. And although a lot of the weights came from a given area or a given stretch on the lake, there were people catching fish really all up and down the lake. I know me and my brother, we ended up canceling a guide trip due to the wind and how we were going to have to fish and things. And my brother was planning on fishing the event. He convinced me to fish the tournament with him. So I jumped in at last minute, and I don't know, we had 18 and a half. We didn't even weigh them because I knew it was going to take a lot of weight to win this event, but we never saw a boat in our area. Literally. I mean, we fished, caught fish all day. I mean, didn't catch big enough fish, and we never saw a boat. So that's encouraging, right? I mean, people are catching them all around the lake, and you can catch them kind of doing this time of year. Typically, you can catch them kind of doing a little bit of everything. For me and my guide trips and things, it's been a lot of flipping. Haven't really got on that jig bite yet. I think that has to do with the bluegill not moving in, but just flipping any type of beaver style bait you have confidence in. Reaction beaver, missile baits D-bomb has been a good one. A ugly otter, a stinger, a whatever. I'm here to tell you, I don't think it makes a difference at all right now. And just pitching what's in front of you, fishing some isolated stuff. For some late spawners, fishing some thick stuff, catching them a lot, doing that. You get in these little stretches where they will come up and commit to a frog, catching some on the Gambler Poppin' Frog. A swim jig has been a player. I know some people are catching them trapping, like some fish that are moving to the outside edge. You can kind of catch them doing a little bit of everything this time of year, which has been cool. A lot of our big fish this week came on a Gambler burner worm. Also some big fish I had caught earlier this week were on a chatterbait. So just a whole hodgepodge of whatever. If you can find fishable water whether it's on the outside or the inside, there's fish on it right now, which is great. Like I said, the only maybe dirty area is the south end right now, which is a big portion of the lake. But I'm sure, and there is fishable areas and some little hideaways down there that are holding some big fish also. But I mean, yeah, I mean the tournament weights have been good. The fish are healthy. The lake is getting low, so you just got to kind of be careful. But it's just a lot of people. It's hard for people to grasp that the lower the lake is, the bigger it fishes. The less water in the lake, the bigger it fishes, and you could kind of just catch them anywhere right now, and that's the way it should be. That's the way I like it, and with the lake dropping, it's just going to expose that good bottom. I was out yesterday and I saw them burning. There was a lot of there was a prescribed burn. Looked like they were burning from about the back of Turner's Cove all the way to the Monkey Box. They lit the whole back edge on fire, and it was a southwest westerly wind, so it looked like they burnt more towards the rim canal, and we're hoping that the fire would just blow out towards the lake, which was awesome to see. And I'm hoping that as the lake continues to drop, hopefully she does, they'll do 2, 3, 4, 5 more of those in different areas, depending on the wind. Just burn off all that shrubbery, all of that junk, those whatever those willow bushes are, that's what I call them, that took growth back there from just the years of muck and soot being blown back there, and these trees can literally take root. Burn all that off and expose new areas for cattails and reeds and needlegrass and things like that to come back, and then obviously do that more and more closer to the lake so that we get a distinguished hard line back. Our hard back walls of our lake right now are just rooty, woody, just they look like crap, really, and just get those good protective hard walls back. Burn out into the middle of out into the lake. The bottom that we've been fishing will hopefully be exposed. You can burn those areas off. New cattails. It's just overall great for the lake. That's the way they need to do it. So it's awesome to see them doing that, and we'll see if we get any positive results from that when the water starts to come back up. But for now, drain it. We have an awesome opportunity right now to get some vegetation back. If we can drain the lake, make it extremely low, make it hazardous, right? But that's what the lake needs. It's not our fault, right? We effed this place up. If we can't navigate on it safely, well, for a few months, that's fine. I mean, we need to bring her back to where she was. So drain it. I don't care if it's 7 foot. I would make the lower it gets, the happier I will be, even if it means I got to go get a part-time job doing something else because I can't navigate the lake. I don't think that'll be the issue. But the lower it is, the better results we're going to have when the water does start to come back up. So, and then, we can start working on, I say working on stopping the spraying. I just don't think that's never going to happen. I don't know exactly what all goes into that. We're trying phone calls, emails, but I heard a rumor that the person who in charge of the federal whatever who comes up with the budget for the aquatic spraying of vegetation spraying budget for the year. I heard his wife owns the spray company or the chemical company. All right, which doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, I've been saying it for years. Someone's pockets are being padded somehow, and they're benefiting from upping the spray budget. That's making the decision. So it's something like that. Greed in this country, it's unreal. I mean, they could care less. If that is what's going on. I know that sounds cruel, and I don't really wish bad about it, but I mean, they're legitimately killing everything that is great about our Florida fisheries. I mean, they're just ruining everything. And it's not just Okeechobee. It's Kissimmee. It's Headwaters now. It's the A1 FEB behind us here that is legitimately there for nothing but to filter water, and they're killing everything there. It's awful. So, yeah, until something happens to or new people get in power, yeah, I don't know if anything's going to change. But I'm recording this on my phone, and my brother just sent me that he's out there and he just caught a 814. So there's big ones biting, and I'm sitting here in the house. But other than that, the lake looks good. There's a lot of the fish are biting a lot better. They're always our thing here is they're always biting somewhere for somebody. And I always also make the thing. It's not where on Lake Okeechobee. Everyone's always like, I want to go to show me a new area, show me something that no one knows about. There's no secret spots on this lake. There just isn't any. And it's not about where you're fishing on this lake. It's about when you're fishing it. These given areas. And a perfect example for that is I had a trip the other day. And fished all day, and went and dropped my customers off, and my buddy was like, "Hey man, do you want to go out and fish a little bit this afternoon?" And I said, "I mean, I can." And he said, "If your boat's in the water, we'll just take your boat." And I picked up my buddy Chris, and we ended up going back to an area that I had spent several hours fishing that day, and had no results, had nothing to show for it. And we went in there and had just an awesome session. I mean, I should say he did. I looked like I had never caught a fish before. I mean, yes, I did catch a fish or two, but he just destroyed me at frog fishing. It was crazy. It was one of the coolest 2-hour bites that I've been on. I think he had 31 pounds by himself on the front of my boat. Not a boat around. There was, everyone was off the water. And it was really cool to like pick his brain. Like, why do you think these fish are biting now? Were they here all day and not biting? And, bouncing ideas. But this was his fourth day, fourth day, I believe it was, in a row, where he had over 30 pounds on a scale. And no one knew about it, right? You didn't post nothing on social media. You didn't even take pictures of the fish. I was getting Snapchats of this. And, but this was all in like right under people's noses. And he ended up fishing the Jimmy McMillan tournament, ended up sharing the spot with another boat. The other boat, Tim King, awesome guy, got second with like 30.91. Chris had 29.5, lost 2 7-pounders, which could have got him the win, but they were legitimately side by side in this area. And so he almost had 30 pounds like 6 days in a row or something, which is crazy. And it's like, I would have left that day and been like, these fish are just not around here. They're nowhere to be found. Whereas he believes that they were coming in there late. And bouncing ideas off of him. And it goes back to the thing. It's like, it's not where, it's when. We legitimately started doing something different than frogging. We were flipping. And he kind of made it clear to me, like, you'll know when them fish get in there. And he made the comment about like the way the tilapia act. Obviously we have a huge tilapia problem on the lake, and they're kind of taking over. But he's like, those tilapia will start getting rowdy, and it's those bass moving in, running them out of there. Now, whether that's what's happening or not, who knows? But that is what he believes. And after seeing what I saw, I have to agree with him. It was like these fish just made the push like salmon and just came in there, and they were in there. And I mean, they were in there. They were shallow. And we were out there till it got dark. I mean, we ran my boat into the ramp in the dark. So it was super cool. Like I said, that's something I definitely recommend to a lot of you. Fish with different people when you can, because whether it's you're booking a trip with me or book a trip with other guides. A lot of guides out here get very defensive over their customers. I am not that way. I tell people, fish with other people, because everyone reads water different. Everyone has different ideas. I've only fished with Chris a couple of times, but every time I've fished with him, I've taken something away from him, whether how he approaches a spot, and it's always little things. So everyone looks for these big nuggets of information anymore. And it's 2025. You're really not going to find those. It's little things. Um, and, like the one day I fished with him, the reeds he was flipping, I would never put my jig in. They just didn't look good to me. I'd bypass him. He'd flip in there and catch a big one and ask, why am I not flipping that? The next time it was like how he sets up on a piece of cover and why. And then, just this, it's always like, do you think these fish, that was the biggest thing for me. It's like, do you think these fish were in here all day, or do you think they just pulled these? I think they just pull in. And what was crazy about these fish? They didn't have a scale missing. I truly believe these fish have never seen a lure before. I think they were main lake fish pulling in. And if they're pulling in to spawn, it makes no sense because once they're in, they should be on the bed for the day. But then again, it's Okeechobee. Nothing makes sense out here. Do they pull in and lay their eggs and they just don't even guard beds anymore? Most of them? I have no idea. But it was weird. It was eye-opening for sure. And he put on a frog clinic. I mean, he's won almost all his money on this lake on that frog, and it shows. So it was really cool. I learned a lot of like how he presents the bait. Little the boat positioning. I mean, it's little things that it's up to you as an angler to like pick up on. And it makes a difference at the end of the day. But again, 5 days in a row catching 30, and you're talking to some guys at the ramp that are like, yeah, there's just, I don't know where these fish are. They're around. I have a lot of those fish catches on video. I think Chris has got some tournaments coming up, so I just don't want to post anything, but for now, but I'm sure they'll go up eventually. And it was super cool. And there's other, and again, like Chris said, this is one spot on the lake. There's dozens of areas like this where this is happening right now, and people just haven't found it. And I tell people all the time on Okeechobee, you can be off by legitimately 20 yards. 20 yards will make or break you. In some instances, 20 feet will make or break you. And maybe someone has just scratched the edge of the juice somewhere else on the lake and caught one and thought maybe it was random and went left when they should have went right, kind of thing. And that's what I think happens a lot. I really do. And I've seen it. I've seen it time and time again. So the fish are healthy in here. They are big. Like, is the lake in bad shape? The lake itself is. It's sin what they're doing to it. But the big fish are still here. They're healthy. And the amount of yearling bass we're seeing on the lake right now is pretty encouraging to see as well. So we'll see. It's going to be an awesome spring. It's going to be an awesome summer with the low lake. I think the lake's going to fish really big. It's going to be hot. It's going to be very warm, but the fishing is going to be warm too. So if you guys want to get down here and come try your hand at it, April, I'm looking at my book here, is pretty booked up, and I've got pretty good availability in May, and May is my favorite month. June, July is great. You're just going to get out there for 4 hours in the morning, but we should catch a lot of fish and have a chance of some big ones, and then you just get off before it gets boiling, right? August, September, you can catch them. You have the whole lake to yourself after May, and you can catch a lot of fish. Schooling, catch them on the outside, especially if the lake's going to be low. If you want to get out there and just do nothing but flip, May is an awesome time for that as well. And speaking of flipping, I was talking to Alex Tarasenko last night. He's got 2 of the big O rods left, just 2 of them. And the reason I'm saying there's just 2, there will be more in production, but he's having a issue with getting blanks. Not a quality control issue or anything like that, so don't worry. But I think the place or the company that produces the blanks, they had like a mechanical issue with a machine or something. So they're kind of a few weeks behind, which, Alex is great. It's thankful that they're whatever the problem is, they're fixing it. Not that he's had a problem with the blanks or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. It's just something slowed down production. So they're a little bit behind on getting blanks. So he doesn't know when the next batch of blanks for that particular series is going to come in. It might be 2 weeks, it might be 2 months, it might be 3 months. So there's only two left. So if you wanted to try the Big O rod, they're on the website. Get them. If you want to try anything else, frog season is here. The Royal Flush is, kind of what put them on the map, along with the Chatter Trap. I throw my frog on a 7.3 heavy BTO. But if you want it or you have questions, reach out to them on their social media platforms. They will walk you through. If you say, hey, I want a rod to do this, but I like a little bit shorter rod for this reason. Maybe I'm shorter, maybe I'm taller, maybe I like a little bit longer rod for throwing a frog than most people. They will walk you through to make sure that you get the right rod, and they will make sure that you are happy with it when you get it. That's the difference between going through a small privately owned company versus the big industry companies and the companies in the industry right now when it comes to rods. They can tailor this rod, excuse me, for you. And the amount of customers that I've had showing up, wearing the Senko stick shirts, having the rods, and getting to use them, and just that they absolutely love them, how different they feel. And that's really cool. And makes me very happy to see, Alex, Sam, and Jenna doing so well over there. But if you guys want to try, like I said, the Big O rod or any of the rods under the Senko Sticks brand, give them a shot. You can use code TIGHTSPLICE at checkout, and it'll save you some money. And yeah, also if you guys maybe live distance away, you're worried about shipping, and you have a trip booked with me, if it's not like within the week, they could try to get the rod done. I can get the rod and bring it on the trip, so you don't have to pay for shipping and risk something getting damaged or anything like that. We've been doing that a lot lately too. So let me know about that. And either way, I appreciate you guys watching. Definitely appreciate the support. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you want to book a trip, I'm plugging this. I've got a decent, it's filled up a little bit more than I thought, but I've got a decent amount in May. June, July, August are wide open, and yes, it is hot, but the fishing can be phenomenal, and the numbers can be good first thing in the morning. So let me know. Other than that, I will see you guys out there on the water. Be safe and tight lines, everybody. See you guys on the next one.